Right, what's up? It's Alvis Tennant again. 50 years of martial arts story. Continuing, I'm doing a little thing with my history, and I want to continue. First, I want to shout out my son, $1 Billion Visions. Go to his site, $1 Billion Visions at $1billiondollarvisions.com. Check him out. I want to shout out my man, Banky Pound. It's 33 years of prison. He does some really good stories. Banky Pound, 33 years of prison. I want to shout him out. And shout out Young Elder and some of my people. And free Young Thug. Free Young Thug. All right? I want to shout out Thug and the whole family down there in Atlanta. Listen, so I think I talked to you last time about my story where I had a little fight when I was fresh into the Marine Corps. Now keep this in mind. When I went into the Marine Corps, I was already 17 months in of consistent martial art training. And then my best friend was Dennis Robinson. He was the toughest kid in basically the high school and had several fights, actual fights, before he got into karate. So when he got into karate, he just fought with karate, and that he was my sparring partner, and he held me accountable. He wasn't trying to hurt me, but it was my responsibility to get out of the way, block that stuff. If not, I was accountable. I paid the price, and no harm, no foul. But that helped me to develop extreme reflexes and resilience. So moving forward, as I'm in the Marine Corps, after I had the last fight I told you about, which was an actual real, confrontation, like a scrap in Marine Corps, but there was no legal ramifications, so I was good on that. My next goal was to find a karate school to work in. So keep this in mind. When I started karate, it was with Okinawan Shorin-ryu, with the chief instructor George Torbett, a 6th degree black belt, who coincidentally is also was also and is also Bill Wallace, the karate champion, Superfoot Wallace. It was his instructor. So I was with a good lineage in Shorin-ryu karate. When I went into the Marine Corps, I was looking for a karate school, and there was Okinawan Isshin-ryu karate, which is another Okinawan style. So when I signed up for that school that was out closest to the city that I was in at Camp Pendleton, San Clemente. So I signed up for the school, and the instructor was a former Marine. He did 10 years in the Marine Corps, and he was a hand-to-hand combat instructor. And he also was associated or had been in or was in the Mongol motorcycle gang. So he was a real rough and tumble dude. He was probably about, he was like 5'5", solid, but he was like 200 pounds, 210 pounds. He was like a little tank, those type of guys. We call them fire hydrants. So anyway, and he was very strict, and when we sparred, it was all out. We sparred with the Kendo equipment, the mask, and gloves, and it'd be all out. When he demonstrated the technique, he'd pull you up there and put that equipment on you and hit you, and he could go through the equipment. So I got into that school, and the teacher's pet, so to speak, was this 15-year-old dude. He was a little bigger than me, but he's 15, and he thought he was a lot better than he was. So my first sparring, I didn't want to blast him because I knew the teacher really liked him, and I was trying to, be cool in the school. And so we got out there, and he came in, and me and him were sparring. So basically, he got off on me. I mean, I kind of let him because I didn't want to mess the relationship up. I felt like if I'd have really gone out like I could have, it would have strained my relationship with my new instructor. So I just kind of moved around with him, and he got out on me a little bit. I let him hit me in the face with the Kendo mask. I didn't really block really hard and wasn't really blasting him with the type of kicks that I kind of grew up, fighting with karate. So it was back and forth, back and forth. And you could tell, at 15, he kind of felt really good, like he really had got out on me. And, I just rolled with that. But then the sensei told me, he said, I could tell you were holding back. Go on and do what you can do with him. I want to see how good he is. I said, okay. So he told me that at the end of the class. So then the next week, so back up, we had what was called Shanai. So every week, every Friday, we had like a sparring match between us and other schools and other people, or just together. But it was me hardcore sparring with that equipment. So the next week, we set up, me and the 15-year-old. I start off blam, side kick right to, a real hard side kick with all that equipment that kind of knocked him out of the ring. So he gets back up, he thinking it was maybe a lucky hit, boom, back fist, and then spinning back fist all on that, equipment. And then it just became more of that, roundhouse kick to that equipment, roundhouse kick to the head. He is all me, then I just would flurry on him, run in and do like 5 punches hard as I could to his face, because that protector, he wasn't really hitting his face, but he could feel the reverberation of it. So anyway, he was hurt. He was hurt, and caught him. It ended with me catching him with a vicious spinning back kick, side kick, spinning back kick, roundhouse kick combination. So that's the side kick, spinning back kick, roundhouse kick to the head combination. Everything landed, because the equipment has you kind of bigger. It's a little hard to move. But anyway, it was good, loud, and looked good, felt good. Good feeling for me, bad feeling for him. And everybody was like, ooh. And the teacher said, okay, that's enough. Stop. And then he said, yeah, I thought you could do a lot better than you did last time. Don't worry about it. You're doing good. And he would work with me, and really admired the type of motivation I had in that school. And I worked with that sensei for several Fridays up until the time I went to Okinawa. So remember, this is before I went to Okinawa. So up until the time I went to Okinawa, I worked with that school, the Ishinryu school, and it was very beneficial, and I really appreciated it, and had some very interesting fights during that time. So I'm going to tell you more about those in the next time. Now this is still 1974. All right, and that was probably maybe March. All right, and we're going to continue with the 50 years of martial arts story next time we talk.